Hello, this is the Atmosphere and Climate Teacher Assigned Reading Activity option. This is for Lesson 1, and it is on the Introduction to the Atmosphere. To begin, you want to set up your workstation like I have done so in this picture right here. You should have your computer on and open, and you should be logged into Moodle. On one side of your screen, you should have the video you're watching right now open, and on the other side of your screen, you should have the corresponding Moodle quiz open. You should also have a sheet of notebook paper as well as a writing utensil to complete this activity option. Press pause until you are done setting up your workstation. To begin this activity option, you will start with Part 1. On Part 1, you will answer the questions that correspond to each page on the Moodle quiz. On page 1 of the textbook, you will see 3 corresponding Moodle questions. On page 2, there are also 3 Moodle questions, and on page 3, there are 3 more Moodle questions. You may begin Part 1 when you are ready. On this page, you will answer questions 1, 2, and 3 on your Moodle quiz. Question 1 asks you about the title, question 2 about the vocabulary, and question 3 is about the What You Will Learn section of this textbook page. Pause the video until you are done answering these 3 questions on your Moodle quiz. On this page, you will answer 3 more Moodle quiz questions. The questions that correspond to this textbook page are questions 4, 5, and 6. Question 4 is about thermal conduction, question 5 about convection, and question 6 asks you about convection current. Answer these questions to the best of your ability and pause the video until you have completed questions 4, 5, and 6. Using this textbook page, you will complete questions 7, 8, and 9 on your Moodle quiz. Question 7 asks you about radiation energy, question 8 asks you about radiation balance, and question 9 about the greenhouse effect. Use the corresponding text as well as the picture to answer these questions. Pause the video until you are done answering these 3 questions. On this page, you will answer the final 3 questions for Part 1 of this activity option. The first question you will answer deals with greenhouse gases, the second about energy from the sun, and the third question utilizes the Understanding Key Ideas or the section review part of this textbook page. Pause the video until you have finished answering these 3 Moodle quiz questions and have completed Part 1. You are now beginning Part 2 of the reading activity option. In this part, you will find the word that best fits each corresponding blank on the textbook page. You will answer the Moodle quiz question that correlates with that blank or that word that you filled in. Do your best and pause the video until you are ready to start Part 2. On the first slide for Part 2, you will be answering Moodle quiz questions 13, 14, and 15. These 3 questions utilize this figure right here. Fill in the corresponding number to the best of your ability and pause the video until you are done answering these 3 questions. On this page, you will be answering number 16 and 17 of your Moodle quiz. Number 16 corresponds to this blank area right here, and number 17 to this blanked out word right here. Answer these questions and pause the video until you are done answering questions 16 and 17 on your Moodle quiz. You will now be answering the final 3 questions of your Moodle quiz and the last 3 questions from Part 2. On this page, you will be answering questions 18, 19, and 20. You're going to use this figure right here to answer these 3 questions. Question 18 corresponds to this area right here, question 19 to this area here, and question 20 to this last area right here. Pause the video until you have completed these 3 questions. Once you have finished, you may submit your quiz and record your score on the piece of notebook paper that you should have out at your workstation. Please complete these steps before you move on to Part 3 of the reading activity option. At this time, you should have completed Parts 1 and 2 of this activity option. That means you should have submitted your Moodle quiz and you should have recorded that score on the piece of notebook paper that you have on your desk. In Part 3, you will be completing a concept map. This concept map will evaluate your learning, and you will be practicing using the key terms from that section. Please complete this concept map on the same sheet of paper that you recorded your score from your Moodle quiz on. You may begin the concept maps whenever you are ready. To begin Part 3, you will start with the Chapter 1, Section 1 concept map on the characteristics of the atmosphere. To begin, you should copy this concept map, structure or outline right here, onto your sheet of notebook paper that you are using for this activity option. Right above this concept map, you should have your quiz score that you just completed for Parts 1 and 2 of this activity option. In order to complete this concept map, I have provided you with a list of terms necessary to fill in each one of these circles or bubbles on this concept map. Pause the video until you are done with the first concept map for this activity option. You will now complete the concept map for Chapter 1.2, which is on atmospheric heating. For this concept map, you will copy down this outline in your or on your notebook paper right below the concept map that you completed for Chapter 1.1. Again, I have listed the terms necessary to complete this concept map, and you should now pause the video until you are done completing the Chapter 1.2 concept map. You have now successfully completed Parts 1, 2, and 3 of this activity option. In Part 4, you will be completing summaries on each section from Chapter 1. In these summaries, you will summarize each chapter or section with a focus on the key terms that are given. Please pause this video until you are ready to complete Part 4. To begin, you will complete a summary on Chapter 1.1. This section is on the characteristics of the atmosphere. Your goal for this summary is to summarize this chapter with your main focus being on atmospheric temperature and pressure and how that relates to other key terms from this section. There are 16 key terms included in this section. Please use as many as possible, and this section is pages 4 through 9 in your textbook. Pause the video until you have completed this summary on your sheet of notebook paper that you've been using throughout this activity option. The summary of Chapter 1, Section 2, Atmospheric Heating, is the final part of this activity option. Your goal for this summary is to explain the greenhouse effect and how it relates to other key terms and concepts from this section. There are 8 key terms in this section, and it is found on pages 10 through 13 in your textbook. Please pause the video until you are done with this summary and press play to receive the final directions for this activity options when you are rubric that will be used to score this activity option. So you will see that the Moodle quiz, with that there are 10 points possible, and the rest of your grade will be determined based on your concept maps and your summaries. And to receive full points on the concept maps, you need to use all of the words and make sure that your connections are clear. And for each summary, you need 3 to 5 sentences with the vocabulary clearly discussed. So once you have completed all of this, make sure that you put your name on your paper and turn it into your science teacher and ask them any questions that you may have on this activity option. Congratulations on being done.